The LMC casts a wide net over the Sound Shore to bring you local event info, profiles, and conversations. Recorded in the heart of the village in Mamaroneck Cinemas at the studio on the Avenue, LMC Media brings you the LMC Cast Community Profiles.
Hello everyone, welcome to the LMC Cast, coming to you from the beautiful studio on the Avenue at Mamaroneck Cinemas. My name is Jason Summers and I'll be today's host. I have the pleasure of sitting down today with a few of the founding members of Greenhaven Artists, who are here to inspire our community with their art, their creativity, and their passion. Thank you so much for joining me, ladies.
Thank you.
And I would love for each of you to introduce yourselves to the audience and who you are and what is your artistic medium.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm Cecil Roberfroid. I'm an abstract intuitive oil painter.
It's a mouthful.
Mouthful. Abstract intuitive oil painter. So I like to paint big and paint at home, and usually it's just whatever happens on the canvas I kind of respond to, and off I go.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Cecile.
And I am Belkis Hall. Everybody calls me Bibi, because Belkis could also be a mouthful. I'm a fine art photographer. I started doing mostly newborns and portraits, but mainly I do weddings and pretty much all different types of events. But because of this group, I started actually pursuing travel photography. I already had a big collection, and it was a very interesting world that I wanted to check out, and here we are.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Belkis.
My name is Fleur Spolidor. I'm a visual artist, and I mostly work on the subject of women's rights, large paintings. I had a show at the J Heritage Center last year, and it was really a pleasure to meet the visitors and discuss with them that very specific situation with them.
Wonderful. Nice to have you here. And I know there are other founding members of the Greenhaven Artists. If you'd like to introduce them in their absence, that would be great.
Sure.
Absolutely. We have Anika Wayarebi. She is an author. She's currently living in the UK. She just recently moved there, but she's still a very active participant. Do you want to introduce somebody else?
Yeah, we've got Sandra Doherty. So she's our floral designer, and she's been very busy with a very active business of like floral design for weddings and events and things like that. So, yeah.
We have also Hélène Roy, who's a yoga instructor, and she's really busy organizing retreats in France. With the wine and the yoga, very relaxing.
Great combination.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And last but not least, we also have Anik McGrogery. She is our watercolored artist, and she's amazing.
Wonderful. So how did this all come about? How did you all get together and connect to make this wonderful collective?
It all started with a show I had at the J Heritage. I was just trying to let everybody know about it, because the whole idea was to make it a community event. And so we have a WhatsApp group in our neighborhood, and I posted about it. And I was like, please neighbors, come see the show, I'll be happy to see you. And then Bibi put two and two together, and I'm like, there is more than one artist in the neighborhood. Let's create a WhatsApp group for all of us, and that's how we started. Very simple.
And Nick chimed in saying she was a watercolorist. Right. She chimed in, which we have been friends for since I moved into the neighborhood years ago. Yeah. But I never knew that she was a painter. Right. So it was so great to see how many artists we had just in our own little neighborhood.
That's amazing.
And then we met for coffee. And then with that one meeting, we turned around, I think, with 5 weeks. We did our first open studio. Yeah. That was a little crazy.
2-hour coffee, and it was like open studio 5 weeks later.
I love that. Yeah. So you mentioned open studio. For those of us not in the know about what that might be, tell us what that was and how that invited the community into your work.
Right. So I think, the first one was more of a short small introduction. It was one house, and we had all 7 of us in the house, in the same house. And then in the spring, we actually did our bigger open studio that was 4 houses.
Yep.
So the 3 of us plus
19
another
artists.
person. Yeah, 19 artists.
Wow.
So we invited outside artists to join us to make it more interesting. It was a beautiful day. And then basically, Greenhaven is a beautiful neighborhood that you can really walk through. And so people walked from house to house and came into our house, saw our studios, got to talk to artists about how they make their art, what it means to them, make it more accessible to them. And we had an amazing turnout and a really great community response. It was wonderful.
That's really fantastic. I've not really heard of anything like that before.
Yeah.
Well, it's something I used to do in California. Like they have a lot of open studios there organized. You have some in New York here also, in Brooklyn. It's not as common here, and we wanted to try that. The really fun thing with open studios is you really get to talk to potential clients, collectors, people who just love art in general and enjoy, looking at it. And because we're doing it here in a community where, after COVID, so many things closed. It was really hard for businesses, for artists. Yeah. People were missing that connection, the community being together, meeting each other. So that, it's really fun when you have an open studio, you're showing your art, but then you have, the neighbors coming, friends coming, and they're like, oh, we know each other from somewhere else. And then they're just having a good time, being together. And then we enjoy having them.
And it's about the experience as a whole, as opposed to, it's not just about the art, but it's about bringing this community together.
Yeah. And I think a lot of, too, like, I know there's some right next students that came over that they're interested in the arts, and, they're coming over to see the studios and just seeing the potential of some of the things that they can do in their future and what's available to them.
Yeah. I'd actually love to talk a little bit about that, because you're in the community and there are so many families here with young artists who are looking to express themselves in this way. What's your advice, or how do you inspire or encourage those students to continue to become the artists that you currently are?
Keep learning. I'm still learning every day. This is a new venture for me, just doing prints and just selling something that it's not wedding photography or a photo shoot. It's interacting with clients in a completely different format, and doing things that are completely outside of my comfort zone. I've been doing wedding photography for over 15 years.
Wow.
Prior to that, I was a currency trader in finance, so being an artist was like a completely 180 for me. And just keep learning, keep looking for opportunities, ask questions to artists like us, like, how do you get started? I know she does, she teaches. So there's so many opportunities in our community to pursue.
Yeah, it's like, don't hesitate to ask. Ask for help. Ask for ideas. Ask for support. It's mentorships, for example, are really important. Like, you find someone who's already in the business, and it's not just school, but it's the entire community that can support you. And that's when one of the things we really enjoy working together. We all have different skills. And working as an artist it's a lot of work. You have to be good at everything. You have to you have to be an artist first. Right. You have to be able to paint, to have the inspiration, but then you have to know how to sell your work, to exhibit your work, to discuss with collectors, potential buyers. You have to be on Instagram. You have to know how to contact the press. You have to list is.
And you didn't even touch to the business side of it.
Right. That's the whole business.
How to run the business. Right.
Make sure you pay your taxes,
right.
Right, exactly.
So there is, you don't learn that in art schools. I mean, maybe now you do, but 30 years ago you didn't. And so it's how you learn, like by asking someone else who worked in another type of, even another business. Someone who has a restaurant, they understand how to work with their, clients. When they buy their ingredients, it's like when you paint, you have to buy your own paint. How do you do that? Where do you find the good source? What is the good ingredients for your paintings or your photos in the right camera. So, and you need advice to make sure it's going to work and be the best possible.
I think it's a complex field because of all the different components of it. But yes, as a group of women artists, it would be really nice to know that we can give that mentorship to young artists and inspire them and show them that this is something that's possible. Because as a creative person, it can get lonely when you work all by yourself.
Right.
To have a
Right.
supportive group like that and to be able to go into the community and share our work, to be able to go into the community and talk to people, to be able to maybe mentor some students. All those things actually make it like a much more rich kind of experience. Yeah.
Well, now that you've inspired all of the people who are listening to this, the next question is, how do we see your work? What's next for the Greenhaven Artists?
Yeah.
So right now we're working with a gallery on a show in New Rochelle. We have a call for artists for that. So if there are some artists, they can take a look at our website, and the call for artists is on there. It's free to apply, which doesn't happen very often that it's free to apply to something.
Right.
And the show it's a holiday show, and it's small artwork, same thing, with the same idea of making art affordable, and so you can buy it as a gift for someone or for yourself if you love the piece. But the idea is same thing, to get to know the community of artists we have in Westchester County, and with the support of Zara of Vanda Gallery, who's working with us, and we can exhibit in her space. Zara was also part of the open studio we did last April. She was showing. She's also an artist, and she was showing her work in my studio. So it's really, like everybody, as we were saying, everybody has different hats, and we try to move around and see what's possible to do with everybody's skills and whatever they can offer.
I think also the idea, again, of the Greenhaven Artists is that we try to make collaborations with different venues. So in December, it will be with Vanda Gallery. It could be a store. It could be a shared workspace. I mean, any place where they're interested in having any sort of visual kind of artwork or any sort of creatives come in, we're open to it, and to, again, make art more accessible for everybody and maybe take it out of the more formal way of seeing art. So
I love that. Well, thank you all three so much for joining me today. I hope that many of the listeners are inspired by not only your words, but hopefully when they see your work, your art as well. So that's all we have time for today on the LMC Cast. Thank you so much for joining us here, and we hope to see you back with us again soon.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the LMC Cast Community Profiles, produced at LMC Media's studio on the Avenue. Visit lmcmedia.org to book your time in this state-of-the-art convenient location, walkable from the Metro North train station on Mamaroneck Avenue. You can also support this nonprofit media center at lmcmedia.org/donate.